Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
$741 billion market cap, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto coin market cap right now is saying we are off by 56.32%. This has got to be a glitch. Somebody help us on this. Bitcoin showing 38,800 right now. We see Ethereum at 2,700. XRP is at 73 cents. You know, it's seeing Bitcoin and Ethereum still holding their own here kind of makes me say that this has got to be some kind of a glitch. If anybody can help us out here, the market sell off 56% and Bitcoin still holding at 38,000. I don't know. Seems like a glitch to me. That's a lot. That's $1 trillion missing, at least, if not more, from the market right now. So if that happens to be accurate. I've put a tweet out to CoinMarketCap. Let's see if they can answer back. We'll cover it in the next video today. Right now, ranging price for XRP is 69 cents on the bottom, 74 cents on the top. Look at this. Let me tell you what's not having a problem with market cap, and it's linked to, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell you that right now. And if you recommend somebody, you can get $250 worth of link bucks for them and $750 worth of link bucks for yourself. And there's so many great things on here. Just look at some of these top sellers. It's Ripple, it's linked to itself, and Uphold, and so many other great products on here. Make sure you go register, find out if you're accredited, and if you are, you better not mess around. This stuff does not last long on that platform. I tell you that much. 60% of merchants want to accept crypto as payment means within 2022. Currently, on 4% of merchants accept crypto for payments. When I go into this article, what I find amazing about this is the amount of merchants that were actually surveyed and users. The report surveyed 110,000 Crypto.com users and WorldPay from FIS base of approximately 1.5 million merchants. Now that is a real sample size right there, ladies and gentlemen. Makes you wonder how much longer before we see all of this break open, right? How much longer? That is the question. I don't think it's going to be much longer, and I know we have to have some kind of regulatory clarity, you know, for the space and crypto, but obviously the pressure is really building on all fronts to accept crypto. Here we see a partnership now between Coinbase Wallet and Ledger hardware wallets for enhanced security, protect, store, and do even more with your new favorite browser extension. This is pretty wild right here. Now, I use both of these platforms. I use Coinbase, and obviously Coinbase Pro in the vault. I also use Ledger, and if you don't know, Ledger also has Ledger Live, which you can connect to your Ledger cold storage wallet. And you can buy, sell, hold, and trade in the Ledger platform directly to your cold storage wallet. So interesting connection going on right there. One does have to wonder, that kind of connection happening, does this point to some kind of regulatory tie-in that Ledger's tying into an exchange here? I don't know. We're going to keep an eye on it. One thing's for sure. At some point, we're going to be bringing this lack of regulatory clarity in for a landing. Now, whether it's at an airport or a field or a patch of woods, I don't know. But I do suggest you put on your hard hat and buckle your seatbelts. Breaking, legislature in Utah has introduced a bill to allow states to accept Bitcoin as payments for taxes, just as California has done. I have to make a correction. I believe I mistakenly said the other day that California was looking to make Bitcoin legal tender, and that was inaccurate. It's Arizona that I confused that with, that is looking to submit a bill to get legal tender in Arizona for Bitcoin. But nevertheless, again, more pressure from all fronts on cryptocurrency being accepted as a tax payment or as legal tender. The federal government is going to have to do something here to really get the regulatory clarity and the framework out here before all of these states make up their own minds. Now, here in the US, we do have that, right? We do have the luxury of some states will adopt certain things, some will not. We see that in other industries. Wink, wink. I know that we've seen that over the last several years. But the reality here is that, this is about currency, virtual currency, cryptocurrency, digital assets, a la money. I don't think they're going to leave this at the federal level as vague as they have done some other recent sectors and industries. Monica Long from Ripple X says here, congrats to the builders and teams and projects bringing new use cases to the XRP ledger and contributing to this growing community. Get to know the newest XRP Ledger grants awardees, and it shows them right here. They continue to build out use cases for the XRP Ledger and projects on top of them. But let's look at this project. From Wrath of Common right here, we know that Ripple partner MUFG is a real deal Ripple partner and has been for quite some time. A member of Ripple's GPSG has shut down its blockchain payment network called GoNet Japan, citing an inability to build to scale and remain profitable. Hopefully they can find an existing DLT payment network they can use. Wink, wink. I think it'll be the XRP Ledger. Maybe Wrath of Common does too. He goes on to say here, GoNet Japan co-authors a white paper, DLT micropayments. I read that. Here's the official press release, went into that. And then note MUFG is also invested in Securitize along with Ripple SBI Holdings. Absolutely. But what I did is I went into the original article that he shared here about it shutting down. And I was like, okay, the GoNet Japan is Global Open Network Japan. So let's go ahead and look at that really quickly. And what that says throughout this whole website is that it's Akamai Technologies. Okay, and that's what this is built on, technology to enable next generation blocks that enable enormous amounts of simultaneously writing, transaction processing, and wallet management required for services in the digital age. It's a chain solution. Where are they located? Akamai Technologies is an American content delivery network, cybersecurity and cloud service provider headquartered in Cambridge, Massachusetts in the United States. So it would appear that that is what they have let go of, is that relationship and that Global Open Network Japan. We will see what develops from there, but it believes Akamai, I believe from what I'm getting here, that Akamai Technologies is the one that's getting folded up on here. So we'll see and keep you attuned to that. Now, this is Digital Euro Association. How can CBDCs and blockchain create efficiencies in the delivery versus payment process? Define has released a new white paper that presents different settlement types, gross and netted trades using CBDCs and digital assets on a blockchain infrastructure. This white paper is by R3 from November 21. I'm going to quickly move you through this because I tell you what you're going to see here. Now, this is being shared, mind you, by the Digital Euro Association. Okay? So keep that in mind. The Digital Euro Association is putting this out, endorsing this releasement of this, using a CBDC for settlement choice for securities settlement, ladies and gentlemen, for securities settlement. The widespread exploration of central bank digital currency CBDCs and decentralized technology by central banks and financial market infrastructures has opened the door to an interesting new security settlement option. One where participants can dynamically choose between instant trade for trade settlement or batched netted settlement. This flexibility is unusual for the market, but consistent with the demands of market participants. It goes on to talk through here about moving to T+1, T+0, which you know that we covered just recently. Gary Gensler, Hester Peirce, Caroline Crenshaw, Allison Herron at the SEC, those chairpersons all voted unanimously to shorten the settlement time of securities. Just like this, right here. This is happening around the world is what we're seeing evidence of, I believe. To gauge where the financial industry is into thinking about T+0, delivery versus payment, we undertook a survey of members of the R3 CBDC working group. We know that R3 has a Corda platform for its customers to build on, which gives them access to the Corda settler for settlement using a digital asset or digital assets, one of which being XRP. Looking right here, it shows some of the illustrations here of delivery versus payment, security settlement systems. I'm not going to go hugely into this other than to show you they are discussing the many different models of how they can do this. And obviously, you could find a way for XRP to fit the bill in helping to settle these transactions. This is the regions of the different projects we have been following over the years of Jasper, Stella, Ubin, and Helvetia. We know that they have entertained the notion of Ethereum and ERC20 tokens as well. It does mention that hypothetically for settlement here in the report. It says nothing about Ripple or XRP as usual in these projects. But again, I ask you, do you believe that the central banks are going to use someone who presents everything they're doing usually by wearing pajamas? Or do you think they're going to go with somebody like Brad Garlinghouse, who has members of the Treasury and people that on their board, of directors, advisors? I think it's a pretty easy understanding of what's going on here, especially when you think about the interoperability of the two different networks, or any of these networks. What's more interoperable here for usage, right? That's really what I start to look at and focus on here. This here again talks about the shortening of the roadmap of settlement to T+1, T+0 settlement, which could be same day settlement, end of day settlement, right? Breaking up these things and doing settlements where you could have it settle at the end of day and do a net kind of a thing. Then we go on here and it shows in here atomic swap versus delivery versus payments, delivery versus payment smart contract between CBDCs and a security. All the information here, atomic swap between a security and such a newly minted CSD, which is a central security deposit, really tied to security settlements through central banks themselves. An atomic swap between CSD coins and CBDCs is cash settlement. You can see all the different applications they tried here. Freeing collateral by burning CSD coins and moving those security tokens back into their smart contracts. Many different things have been tried through here. The point of all of this is to understand that, whether we're talking about R3 or whether we're talking about the central banks, the Digital Euro Association, or the Digital Pound Foundation, all of this has a connection to Ripple. And obviously, indirectly, the XRP ledger and XRP itself. Now, do they say it? No. Am I speculating? You bet I am. But let me tell you what, I find it very, very convincing to me as a speculator and a prospector that this just happened a little more than a week ago, right here with the SEC and Gary Gensler voting to shorten the securities transaction settlement time, and now we're hearing the Digital Euro Association on the other side of the world doing it too? Coincidence? I think not.
Ever-increasing pace of advancements in technology, including distributed ledger technology, further shortening the standard settlement cycle in the near future may be both desirable and feasible. Indeed, some such efforts are already underway.
Today we do have those technologies not only to shorten the settlement cycle for one day, but also to shorten key elements of what's called the clearing process, that which goes on before. Also, I think rather important, it requires 3 important steps in that clearing process. The back office plumbing process of affirmation, i.e. the fully automated transaction processing. Again, lowering risk in the system. Now, separately, the Commission is also issuing a robust request for comment around areas to consider with respect to potentially achieving same-day net settlement in the future.
Exactly like the document from R3 that's being endorsed and put out by the Digital Euro Association. The exact topics, the exact points. Coincidence?
Because it's still netting positions, but possibly moving the money, moving the securities in the evening or end of day. The technology actually exists today, not just for same-day affirmation, confirmation, and allocations, but even for same-day settlement. How do commissioners vote on the division's recommendations to amend the Securities Exchange Act on clearing and settling?
Yes. latest?
Yes, the recommendation is approved unanimously.
And there you have that. Now we see that they have recommended and voted to shorten the settlement time. That amendment has been made at the SEC, and the use of distributed ledger technology, in fact, is already being pursued to a degree, as Caroline Crenshaw has said there too. Now, this is pretty remarkable because then this was just put out. We have the technology to reduce and clearing and settlement. Last week, we proposed to shorten this standard settlement cycle for most securities and transactions. This was just released a couple days ago because he's talking about the plumbing. I'm not going to play this for you because it just reinforces what they just voted unanimously to do. The SEC has submitted that the library case is an example for them to submit in their approach to shoot down Ripple and the fair notice defense and everything else that Ripple's trying to do. However, Ripple strikes back and they respond to the SEC's library separately pled a fair notice defense that the SEC did not even ask the court to strike, and which remains pending in that case. The SEC's omission of this fact from its Sir reply application is remarkable. That's what's said in this document. Now, just quickly here, it does go through and reinforce that notion. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but it just basically calls out the SEC that this case is not even in the circuit to be pulled on in, I guess, the normal fashion that you would, or the normal protocol of how you would submit cases. And that is a gap with out of circuit cases, and it certainly cannot do it with library, in which it addresses a different defense. So, I mean, this is a mess. Jeremy Hogan goes on to confirm the mess. Here he says, in the library case, library actually asserted fair notice defense, and not only did it not get stricken, the SEC didn't even try and strike it. So how a trial level court striking a completely different affirmative defense in that case is relevant, I don't understand. So it seems that everything in the kitchen sink is coming from the SEC now, in order to just delay. That's what this feels like, and I'm 12 years short of a law degree, but what else could it be? They've had 8 years to build a case against Ripple and XRP, and this is what you got? We're in the 7th inning stretch, and this is what you're throwing at the court here. Anyway, this is surely an old tactic from the books to delay the proceedings in the case, to dig out new evidence or to buy some time to bringing something sensible to the table. SEC has already been alleged over its biases or biased regulations in this Sir reply is another step to stretch its case. It really is. It's a mess. And to go one step further, remember that not only is Ripple being sued, but so is Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson separately, none of which, not the individuals nor the company, are being charged with fraud or any criminal activity at all. This is literally a civil matter here. John Deaton's prediction here is that the case against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson is over. It was over the day it was filed, he says. There's no way the SEC can meet its burden. The SEC must prove the two executives had actual knowledge XRP was a security or was reckless in not knowing. And if we've learned nothing else from this case, we have learned without the shadow of a doubt that the SEC has taken many different sides to try to make a case here, and none of it has any clarity at all.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.